Our second national semifinal, Duke and Houston in San Antonio at the Alamo Dome. For my money, these are the two best teams in the country right now. No disrespect to Auburn, no disrespect to Florida, who are certainly on the same level or close to whoever the best team in the country is. I think this is the quote unquote best team in Duke, a team that we have never seen before, the caliber of versus the team with the nation's longest active win streak, a Houston team that has won 17 consecutive games, a Houston team that has won 33 games since their last regulation loss back on November 9th.
That's
Insane.
the we bring that up all the time. It's still the craziest stat, and then I love also just following it up with like the team they lost to was Auburn. Like it's the craziest stat, truly.
Basically, nobody that isn't historically special has beaten this Houston team in 40 minutes of basketball.
Yeah.
It's a true statement. Now we'll see if Duke is special enough to do it, but me thinks they probably are historically special. Cart, what's your expectation for this game? What are you most excited for?
First of all, I'm most excited for you being locked in because you hit me with a methinks, and that means that we're gonna have a special preview on our hands
That
here.
means I'm locked in.
Yeah, it does. And we anytime you drop a methinks, I know we're in for a classic. Methinks that this
All
is going
right.
what?
That's stupid.
Yeah, we are stupid. If you didn't, what is are those chocolate covered like malt balls?
Yeah, I had a bit, but I can't get it open.
Okay. Oh, before you get that to your bit, I will say this. Houston to me is the most underrated team in this Final Four. Um, Whether you want to admit it or not, this team is an elite defense. They swarm. They also play like a different style of defense. Like you look at how Duke defends, and Duke is a lot of just one-on-one, shut that man down basically. And they kind of just they have the length to make things happen. Houston is a little bit more aggressive in their defense. Like they want to turn you over. They want to get up in you. They all have like these 7 foot wingspans, even though no one's over 6'8", and they just hound you constantly and just they get physical with you and they want to break you physically in a lot of their games. And I think it's going to be a really stern test for this Duke team because I think there is going to be a world where Houston is going to frustrate them and make things tough on them and maybe force turnovers. And yes, Duke has been really good at taking care of the ball this year, but I don't know if they have seen a defense like Houston's that can hound you the way they can. And I think that physicality could have an effect on these guards and maybe even guys like Cooper Flag. Even though you don't look at Houston, there's not a guy that's, we talked about how Grant Nelson is shaped like someone who can match up with Flag. There's really no one, I guess. I mean, I don't know. Maybe you could say one of the front court players could, but I think it's gonna be very interesting to see Houston's defense and what it looks like against this Duke offense.
So I was gonna do a malted milk ball bit, and then I opened them and they spilled everywhere.
Mhm.
So I'm going through it right now. But
Yeah, I wish I could give you a hug, brother. I wish I could.
yeah, it's been a
Or you
rough.
could punch me in the arm. That always makes you feel better.
It does. It's been a rough week. Yeah, so I was gonna do this thing where I was like, Cart, do you like malted milk balls? And you were gonna, of course, be like, yeah, do I? Of course. And I was gonna be like, yeah, great snack, right? Kind of an underappreciated snack. The cool thing about malted milk balls is that like you eat one and then there's just another one. They just keep coming and kind they're all equally as special as the next one. Like your first malted milk ball is great until you get to the second malted milk ball, and then you get to the third special snack. That's Duke. That's what I feel like. They're a team full of malted milk balls. Now I'm just realizing that could probably be taken as racist. Thank God Cooper Flag and Con Knipple are Caucasian, so I can dodge those allegations. But they're just a special basketball team, and like Coop gets all the headlines, but like Khan and Man Man and Proctor and Sion and I freaking Isaiah Evans off the bench, they just keep coming in waves. So I love that team. That's the bit I was gonna do. It's botched, which probably doesn't bode well for Duke. But in the middle of that, I picked up on something that you said that I completely disagree with, my friend. Houston
Uh,
doesn't have somebody who can match up.
well, I did say that they could possibly put like a Juwan Roberts or somebody on him.
That wouldn't be the man I would think would immediately be put on him. I think they have one guy that is probably second on the list behind Grant Nelson to be the perfect defender for Cooper Flag in the country.
Tugler?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean, I said one of the front court guys.
I mean, I would be shocked if they want to put Roberts on Flag.
I think he'll get a shot at him, but actually, though, Roberts will probably get the man assignment if anything. But yeah, Tugler is one of the best defenders in the country for sure. So that's that's definitely something that could play a factor in this one.
Like NBA level athlete, kind of just there to play defense. Like he ain't really worried about anything else. He's just gonna be there like in your shit for 40 minutes.
JoJo Tugler only cares about defense. He doesn't care about anything else. He doesn't care about his beard connecting. He doesn't care about nothing, just defense, and it's
That's
what makes him great.
what it's like what do you care about?
What do I care about?
Yeah,
I mean, outside of my family, wife, and everything like that, not much.
nothing.
Yeah,
So there's not much of a comparison between JoJo Tugler and you.
it's just absolutely negative comparison.
Okay.
JoJo Tugler is all the great things that I lack at:
Okay.
defense, athleticism, metabolism, a lot of isms.
Got a couple of isms there. Yeah. Okay.
Couple of,
Um, a couple of isms,
couple
man.
isms in there.
What if you're in John Shire's film room, what's the number one thing he's showing you and your team that he's concerned about with Houston?
Ooh. Mm. Probably taking care of the ball. Just because like Houston is so they do a great job of digging in. They like I think if I could count how many like deflections or just like hands-on balls Houston has, it would be enormous. They just do a great job using their length and quick hands and athleticism to force you into to tough shots, right? Or force you into tough shots or force you into turnovers. And then I don't know if I realized this late or something like that, but more so than anything too. Houston, like they'll get like I mean, you watched the Tennessee game, G. They would get a stop. Tennessee would be in hell, right? That's why this is part of why Tennessee only scored 15 points. Now, I'm not saying Tennessee and Duke are comparable in any way, but they would get a stop and then they would be as slow as possible getting up the court. I'm talking about Uzan loops all the way around, grabs the ball, walks it, gets over the court, gets over mid court just before the 10-second count goes, runs some offense, gets like a pick and roll, gets a post touch, gets something. You think you got to stop. Crier makes a little tough floater jumper. Uzan makes a play for himself or others. And then if all else fails, you get an Emmanuel Sharp 30-footer just hit upon your head top and you're just like you're distraught. And you're like, "Damn, that just took 30 seconds of defense out of us." And then they score. And then also if they miss, there's a good chance they could get it back as well, which is a something that they do extremely well. They just keep the ball alive and or get the ball back themselves. Um, and then they just lock back in on defense. So it's like you got to work so hard to score on them. And then you also got to work so hard defensively because they make you guard for so long. And then it's tough to finish possessions against Houston. Now Duke is a team that can do that, right? Like they have the athleticism and the defense themselves to make some stops. So I mean, this could be an ugly basketball game. Like I know we've seen Duke like touching in the hundreds and 80s and things like that. This could be like a 72 to 70 game or something like that.
So, at the risk of and sorry, I'm sick to anybody watching this. If you can't tell, you can probably immediately tell. But at the risk of oversimplifying this, I feel like there's one end of the court that this just like immediately comes down to. To me, Houston's gonna struggle to score against Duke. They just have so much size and length, and that's not really something that I view a strength of with Houston, right? Like Duke is number one in average height. Houston's 243rd. For as physical as they are, they're not the biggest front court.
I think Houston would be up there in length though. All those dudes have just long ass
Yeah,
arms.
but the guards are small. Like
Yeah, they are.
the front court, I hear you. It's just it's gonna be different. This isn't like Big 12. This isn't Hunter Dickinson and KJ Adams, little dinosaur arms. Like this is This is Duke. This is Man Man and Cooper Flag and a bunch of 6'7" dudes everywhere else. I think that's going to affect Houston. Respectfully to Houston, I know they can score. I like Uzon. I think they need a big Uzon game. I think Duke's going to get stops. So the question for me is the other end. Is the number one offense in the sport, Duke, versus the number one defense in the sport, Houston. Can Houston actually get enough stops to hang in this game or not? Like, there's
Yes.
a world, you tell me like 4 minutes into this game, they just can't get stops. That's possible. Duke could come out and make six of their first seven shots and the game's over.
When has someone done that?
Against Houston,
Yeah.
I don't know that it's happened this year.
Shit's not that sweet.
Yeah, I don't think it's happened this year.
It's just not that. I mean, I'm trying to think who's the best defense that Duke has seen this year. Because this is different. I mean, actually, okay, no, in the non-conference, they played like Auburn and stuff like that. They played some good defenses, but that was a long time ago.
Yeah,
This this
Duke's got a
Houston
lot
defense,
better.
this Houston defense is different.
It
It
is.
they make it so hard to get to the spot you want to get to, and then they're fine checking you one on one and using their hands. And look, I Khan likes to get into people and like kind of use his big frame and his body to like kind of post bump fade and things like that down low or get to the basket. Houston's not going for that. Even if he does have a couple inches on whoever's guarding him. They're not going for that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough. Now they do
Yeah.
have the like they now if Duke is making like if Duke is just shooting over guys, right? And there's if Tyrese Proctor's the second coming of Derek White and Cooper Flag is just this generational kid, which he is, it's gonna be tough for Houston. You could probably just put Duke in the national championship game. But I can tell you right now that I think the Houston guards and the wings are going to make life hell for the Duke guards and wings. It's not going to be sweet.
I mean, implicitly by saying they're going to make life hell for the Duke wings. You think Cooper Flag's going to be in hell in this game?
No, I was more so talking like, Sion, Tyrese,
Conathan?
Khan. Yeah.
You don't think any of them will find answers?
I mean, I'm sure they will find answers now and then. Will they find answers consistently enough?
How many points does Duke need to win this game?
I think if they score 75, they win.
Seems doable, no?
Or 78. Somewhere in between there.
Looking back, in games with Cooper Flag, they've done that like 30 times this year out of 35. Seems doable.
We're doing games with okay. Yeah, games with Cooper Flag.
Yeah, seems
Yeah.
doable. All
They
right.
play they play some staunchy people in that stretch.
Can you make the best five-man lineup you can make from players in this game? Who would you want on the floor?
Uzan, Uzan Crier, Khan, Coop, Man.
Putting the Houston backcourt on the court over Proctor or Sion.
Hmm.
Hasn't Proctor been good enough to crack that?
Lately I think yeah, you could say that, but I'm taking full body of work into play here.
Okay.
But as of the tournament, yeah, that's fair to say.
It's tough. You basically got to pick one of Crier, Uzan, Proctor to leave off. Proctor's been so good, but so is Uzan for 2 months.
Yeah.
I think that'd be my answer for the right. I think I'd go Uzan, Proctor, Khan, Flag,
Coop,
man.
man.
Yeah.
Coop, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, fair.
Duke's so good.
They are. They're really good.
Duke's so good.
It's
All
so
right.
good.
You want to get to predictions?
I do.
Duke by 2 is the Ken Palm line. What do you got?
Do the best teams always win the national championship, G?
No.
They don't. They don't. They really don't. I'm sorry, Crump. I'm sorry to Duke Blue Devil Nation. I'm a weak fan. I'm a weak bandwagon fan. I think Houston gets them in this game.
This is crazy.
It is crazy. I think Houston gets them. And uh I'll timestamp this so Zion NBA can clip this. Um, I think Houston gets them in this game. I think Houston's defense will have the ability to bother and make things uncomfortable for Duke. And if they are able to be the number one three-point shooting team in the sport, which they are, and able to knock down enough shots after milking all the time off the shot clock and making Duke really work for their buckets on the other end, I think they will get just enough points to win this game. It will be a single possession win. And maybe it comes down to Duke having the last shot and Cooper Flag having the time to make it happen and make his moment. But I'm going to take Houston to win this game. I'm going to say 70 to 68. Yeah.
So close to just the cat pop line.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, I love you. I'm going Duke.
Four.
82-64.
82.
82-64. I think they're too good, man. I have so much respect for Houston, but I think Duke is too good. I think they're going to coast to a title.
They haven't, you talk about like regulation stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, hmm. Houston hasn't given up 80 all year.
Yeah, it's Duke. Like, what are we doing?
All right.
They've scored 84 straight games in this tournament.
Houston hasn't given up 80 all year.
Duke has scored 80 in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 straight games if you ignore the ACC tournament where Coop was hurt.
All right. Another, I guess, just a
You
Final
don't
Four on
believe
opposite
in
side.
Duke. Like what the what
I
the
do
hell is
believe
this
in
bet?
I believe in Duke, but I feel like people aren't giving Houston the credit they deserve.
That's true, and that's fine, but now they got to play Duke. They're here. It was a great Final Four. Great run. I love this Houston team. Now it's Duke. It's the best college basketball team that I've seen since I've been alive.
Yeah,
Like,
I've seen those teams lose. I've seen those teams lose.
I can't believe you're turning your back on them after a full year of picking them with me the whole time.
Hmm.
You think you know a guy.
Also, last point on this, the environment for this game is gonna be crazy because Duke fans travel and it's like a 3 hour drive, I think, to San Antonio for Houston people.
It's going to be a huge Houston crowd for sure.
Yeah. Also, the crowds in general at the Final Four, I think, are gonna be rocking.
So you're telling me Duke gets to be the underdog?
No,
I like that.
do you?
I like that a lot.
Okay.
If Houston wins this game, they should storm the court after, though. That's how big of an upset it would be.
Crazy.
It's Duke, man. Like, go in.
It is March, and that means that March Madness is upon us. And if you are looking for a place to play, Underdog Fantasy has you covered. Sign up and deposit using code SLEEPERS, that's code SLEEPERS, to receive up to $1,000 in bonus credit plus a free pick. Head over to Underdog Fantasy today and use promo code SLEEPERS to take advantage of this amazing offer.